Chemical and physical properties. Chemical properties are a little harder to understand because they're not really something we deal with on a daily basis like we do physical properties.
Mm-hmm.
So if I were to say, if you were to accidentally set your lab coat down on a bench,
Right.
and there was a Bunsen burner and it fell over and it caught your lab coat on fire,
Right.
your lab coat would burn.
Yes, it would.
So we would
because
say,
it is flammable.
and that is a chemical property.
Flammability. So the ability to undergo a chemical change is a chemical property.
Yes. So
Okay.
the same thing as if you were wearing your lab coat and somebody spilled some acid and it splashed onto your lab coat, it would eat holes in your lab coat. So your lab coat is as reactive with acid.
And so I wouldn't be able to get my lab coat back. It would change it permanently into a different chemical.
Right. And that's when we come to chemical changes.
Okay.
But when we talk about reactivity with acid, the word reactivity is indicative of a chemical property.
Okay. Very good. So some
flammability,
examples
reactivity, combustibility,
can catch on fire.
yeah, anything like that describes a chemical property.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you. Very good.
Okay. Chemical changes are really neat, but they're also confusing with physical properties because one of the indicators of a chemical change is a change in color.
All right.
Okay? So sometimes students confuse that, a change in color, with being a physical property.
Right, because color is a physical property.
Right.
But a change in color is usually a chemical property.
Chemical change.
Chemical change.
Yeah.
And if it's a chemical change, does that mean that it's not going to go back unless you do something and make it go through another chemical change to go back?
Possibly. What it usually means is that there's been some rearrangement of the molecules of the atoms,
Okay.
and you have some new chemistry forms. So no longer do we have the original starting chemistry. We have a new chemistry, which allows us to say it was a chemical change.
Right.
Depending, most of the time, you say chemical changes aren't reversible. They can be reversible in certain situations, but usually they're not reversible.
Okay.
Okay.
But the main point of it is you're going from one type of molecule into a new type of molecule.
Yes.
Your molecules are changing. Chemically.
Okay. Do you know the 4 indicators of chemical change?
One would be if it's giving off a new gas.
Gas, yes. Bubbling.
One would be, as you said, changing color.
Color, yes. How about
How
what
about-
do you do with a piece of magnesium?
If you put it in a flame and get it very hot, it will burn, so combustion or burning,
Right. Light, and generates light.
Okay.
So light and or heat generation.
right? And then also if you have metals like silver, if I have silver
Mhm.
jewelry, it can tarnish or change, it changes chemically into something different.
Yes. Well, take a regular old steel nail and put it in a fence post outside.
Rusting.
Rusting.
Okay.
So the iron becomes iron oxide.
New chemical?
New.
Chemical change.
Yes.
Okay.
Awesome.